This is Lisa Ann McCall, physical therapist, posture princess, and I am a lover of movement. So why don't we start today with a routine, a walking routine. How would you go about a good walking routine that really gave you more than just walking? All right? So fundamentals, the foundation, how you do something has such an impact on what you're doing. It's not a popular concept today. Popular concept is how many steps you got in. My concept is how did you do those steps? Popular concept today is weightlifting for strength. My concept is how do you know how to move well in your day to build bone, build muscle all the time, and then go to the gym and do whatever you want to do. I'm about the now. I'm about the life movements. I'm about stuff that nobody thinks it's very important. And it's an art form, and I understand it to very, very deep levels just because I've done it a long time and I love it. And I want to share the same love with you because this isn't about what you believe I say. This is about your own experience. So often we are now in the idea that I'm going to check off my workout program. I'm going to check off my strength training. I'm going to check things off versus immersing ourselves into our experiences and really enjoying them and watching them change our lives. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you a few things to do, really actually 3. I never usually do more than 3. 3 things you can do prior to going out for your walk. And then when you go out for your walk, you got a few tools I'll give you, and then you come back and you can do these same things again or not. But if you took these tools I gave you and immersed yourself in them and found out how to enjoy them in an experiential way, let them teach you how to feel better and to be stronger and to have more mobility. And then maybe your workout program becomes more than just something you check off the list. It's so common. I've got to go do my stretches and then I got to go do my strength and then I got to go to my class. This is leans more into like a meditation. This leans more into experiencing something good. If you don't like that, that's okay. You can just check it off your list and you can do these things and you'll benefit from them. So I'm going to explain to you why each movement, each thing I teach you, how deep it could go. So let's jump in. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to need a wall and I'm going to need a wash rag and I'm going to need maybe a little table or a chair. Okay, so I'm going to teach you first. I've done these movements on other videos. So if you want to go back and get more in-depth understanding, just go to my videos and run through them and look for them or my shorts. Okay, so here I am. I'm ready to go for a walk. I got, my stuff on, whatever. And I'm going to come over this wall first. And I have taught this lengthening and stretching at the wall. Now what I'm going to show you what I'm not doing. I'm not pulling on my shoulders. I'm not really reaching like that because I don't want to hurt my shoulders. I want to stretch them some, but I want to think the movement's coming from down here. And I want to show you an example. If I am thinking about the movement coming from down here, that means I'm connecting through my shoulder all the way up to my arm. So the forces at my shoulder are dispersed. And they need to be because most people are too tight in their shoulders. And if you put too much force in that area, it's going to hurt it. So if I wanted to stretch my finger, and I stretch my finger back and I let my arm go straight and I stretch, I'm going to have more distance and that stretch isn't going to be as big a deal unless at the very end I kept pulling. Or I could hold my hand here and I could just pull my finger and pull my finger. If I'm putting all the force right here at this joint, it's going to make a lot more force onto that joint. Whether I like it or not, it's a lot of force. If I disperse it through my hand, through my wrist, through my elbow, then it's a dispersed stretch. And I'm more of a dispersed stretch lady because I'm not just stretching when I show you these things. I'm teaching or helping you learn how your body is designed to stack. Yeah, forget your muscles for a minute. Just think about how your bones are designed to stack. You can't know that in your head. You have to feel that. And it's very, very specific to the spine and shoulders and scapula. And it isn't just stack your ears over your shoulders, over your hips. That's a nice phrase, but it doesn't have any meaning, really, to your body. To bring meaning, you got to get into the details, and it's got to get deep. So it doesn't have to be a complicated movement to get deep, okay? So I come over here, I put my hands on the wall wherever it's semi-comfortable. You know what I mean? I don't want you to hurt yourself. So you put your hands on the wall, and then when you're walking up a little with your fingers and over, I want you to think that you're using this part of your back to lift up and stretch. So if I'm thinking I'm lifting from my base of my ribs, then I'm dispersing the movement through my arm. And then I can gently just keep all the weight you want in your arms. I can go this way, do the same thing. So I like to think that I'm going up and over like a rainbow. You know, rainbow goes up and over. Okay, I don't want to collapse on either one of my sides. I don't want to do this. I want to keep both lower rib cages coming up and coming up and over and coming up and over and coming up and over. So it can be small. It can be, it should be kind of small. So it goes up, over, up, and over. I'm not going way, way over. I'm not going way hard on my shoulder. I actually feel it, my mind is like lifting in here. Okay, so when you come back down, you'll hopefully feel just a little more upright. If you don't, you will in about a week or so if you do that every day. You will. You'll start to feel some changes. At first, it just may not be a lot because you may be really stiff. Okay, or you may be really, 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 really loose. And either way, it could be a little different. So now, what I want to do is I want to teach you how to do a stretch that it feels like a stretch, but it's a strengthening exercise to your butt, to your back, and to your hamstrings and your legs. Walking is you walk more from the back of your body moving forward, and or at least that's efficient walking, is the back of your body is sort of accelerating you. So that's more efficient. So I want to wake up and stimulate that area of the body. So I'm going to do my bending. If you haven't ever seen me before, I'm a big fan of beautiful bending. And you may say, what's beautiful bending? Well, what beautiful bending is, it is the small pieces of bending that matter, that you do them more efficiently. So I'm going to find, for bending, I'm going to find the arch for my back right here. Now, if I don't have an arch and have a tendency to be more like this with my butt tucked, I stick my butt out a little and I relax my tummy. I put my feet apart. Now I have my hands on my spine, and I'll know if I'm bending at my waist by my vertebra sticking out, or I'll know if I'm bending at my hips because my spine is extremely straight. Now, I always soften my knees. You can bend them a little, you can bend them a lot. But what's really important is you're shifting your weight to your butt and heels. As I bend, the weight goes back. If you're a weightlifter, it's a lot like a good morning with a bar on your back. So I have my hands on my back because that opens my chest and I can relax my elbows. My feet are apart, pretty far, comfortable apart. And then I turn my upper thighs out a little and I begin to bend. In other words, don't let your knees kiss. No knees in. None of that. Let them open up like you're on a horse. And I go over until I go, whoa, I feel something back here or back here. So you can bend your knees a little more. I want this to go up without this bending. This goes up, watch my head go down, without this breaking. So if that's a lot of work, then put your arms on a chair and rest and keep your big toe on the ground because it wants to roll out. And you just stretch back here and then come back up. Stretching is an activation. If you're doing it yourself, you're activating that tissue. So then you come and you're more upright. And then your body goes, oh wow, now I can walk more efficiently because I'm stimulated those muscles. Now, your body doesn't say that. I'm saying it for your body. But it feels that. Now, here's my third and maybe one of my favorite things, too. Is you get a wash rag. And I've done this before on another video. So you can go to another video. And maybe you fold it in half, okay? And you go around your house before you go for a walk, and you press up into that wash rag. Now, is this pressing up into a wash rag? No. No, that's my face going to the ceiling. Pressing up into the wash rag is pretty subtle, but you know it's there, and that will bring your whole body into a place of centering. Very subtle, possibly. It won't hurt your neck. If you hurt your neck when you do this, then you back off a little. But this is not stretching my head up. And I don't use the phrase pull a string out of my head because it makes no sense to me. The body's intelligent. If you ask it to do something that makes sense, that's a real purposeful movement, like I'm pressing up into this because I could have a pot on my head, because people do. They'll put a little soft something and then they'll put a big pot on their head, and that makes sense to the human body. It has evolved to carry things on its head. We don't, but it does do it well. So why don't I say I'm carrying something on my head, which I am, and I walk around the house and I get used to that. And you could do this anytime. Stretch up, and it brings you here. It brings you into your experience. Now, if you want to go out on a walk with this, I will support you fully, because I'm a little odd. And being odd is not a problem to me. But many of you may not want to do that. So you could do this around the house. All right, now let's go over walking. So now, one walking skill. One walking skill is you're at the grocery store, you have to push a cart, and you're not going to grip the cart and do this. You're just going to push the cart and push with your legs. That's one walking skill. These are things you can take with you as you're walking. If you don't like that one, then you could act like you're a little bit of an ice skater or a roller skater, and you push and you're roller skating. Now, you don't have to get real exaggerated with that. You don't have to go way over, but you can, either one of them, it's a push, it's a push, it's a push. One other one that people like is, well, I don't know if people like this one, but it really works. If you can feel like you're falling forward and you catch yourself. That's just another way. You can play with that. Okay, I'm going to fall. Oh, I got to catch myself. Does the same thing. All three of those give you the same principle. I don't want to get into the weeds with that. It's complicated, so make it easy. Take those with you. Or one of them. Then, what do I do with my arms? You can walk with your hands behind your back, and I'm telling you, this will wear you out if you haven't been used to it. Should you walk your whole walk with your arms behind your back? No, you don't have to do that. Just do it a little bit and let them fall. Don't overswing. Not into this. There's nothing real about that unless you're on skis and doing cross-country ski. Stay in reality. If your arms naturally swing a little, then let them naturally swing. Okay? So I like this one. And then, here's one of my favorites. I've told clients to do. They go on long walks, some of them, and I say, when you get to a corner, like the street, just do a little stretching. Kind of like the wall. It's a little like the wall, but it doesn't look super duper weird. And you can just take you're like stretching that elbow up a little, do a little of that, let go. Because I want this to get longer on you, and I want this to get relaxed on you. I want this to be able to be just resting, and this long and tall. And then this has more options once that's that way. So raising your arms up in the middle of a walk and then dropping, it's lovely. It just kind of breaks up the walk and gives you some other different things to focus on and enjoy it. And I definitely recommend you to do less versus more. If this is new to you, and you go, I've got to go out and do 15 to 20 minutes, then go out and do 10 to 12. Come back and want more. It really is nice when you don't give yourself as much as you expect of yourself. Little psychology game. Just always have the feeling that you'd like to go do this. More is not better, less is better. It's called training smart. I think training hard is training smart. You'll be training hard if you can stay with it over a long period of time. That's harder for the Westerner than just going out and being a weekend warrior. It's harder just to do it on the days and the weeks nobody knows, nobody cares, nobody is there to tell you it's yours. And the more you can tell that you enjoy it, that's the secret. It's yours. It's not somebody else's. So everything I give you here is to empower you on finding out if that works for you. Because if it doesn't, don't do it. It's your life, your body, and these are the things to help you take the first step into maybe you do work out, but you think, I want to walk more. I want a little more in my life. I want to get my neck relaxed. I want my back to feel better. I want to walk more because I'm going to walk for the rest of my life. You're not going to be on a bike when you're 95. You're going to be walking to the bathroom, hopefully. You're going to be walking down the street. You'll always want to be able to walk. It's what humans do, so why not make it a part of your life? Walk or hike. Okay, I think they're both the same. In a way. There you go. What was that? 17 minutes. Went over too. Just kidding. Questions?
Darlene in Page says, from a physiological standpoint, is it better to walk earlier or later in the day?
I think it's the person. Some people are morning people, people in the afternoon. Is it hot for you where you are? Go mornings. I think the more comfortable you are, the more likely you will stay on it, and then physiologically that is your benefit. It is really different for different people depending on the environment, depending on the circumstances, depending on your lifestyle. Really big. When I put people on home programs, I find out, what is your life like? Are you I'm hanging out in bed for 10 minutes? Or are you I'm out of the bed and at the end of the day, I'm great? Lifestyle. That's what I would look at.
And repeat the question for the viewers after you hear it.
Oh, okay.
Lawrence in Boulder asks, why do we focus on the upper body like shoulders when we're walking using our lower limbs?
It's a really good question. I love this. Why are we focusing on our upper body and our limbs up here? I mean, when we use our lower body and our limbs, is that right? Okay. Did you know that over the centuries in evolution, we use our legs similar than we did when we first started walking, whatever that was, cavemen or whatever. But we do not use our upper body the same at all as we did when we were working in the fields and carrying things on our shoulder, and we were more manual labor. Our manual labor was that we used our upper body, whether we were bending and doing something, putting up, carrying a kid on our hip, but not like this, not with a phone. We were carrying our children and our whole life and walking. We use our legs somewhat similar. But what I see as people age, and I work with elderly people in a senior home where they're active, but I'm telling you, every one of them has a problem with their upper body more than their lower when it comes to my ability to help them make a quicker change. I can make quicker changes down here on people and much slower up here. So we need the two to work together and evolve together, and it's really our lifestyle. I always create movement therapy to fit our honest lifestyle. not ideal style, what we have to deal with. Okay?
Sally in Tucson asks, I don't understand distressed stretching.
Understand what?
Distressed stretching.
What did I say? Distressed? What is that? When did I say it?
When you were talking about distressed shoulder muscles that you put
Disperse.
Disperse. Maybe that's what she meant.
Okay, so dispersing a stretch.
Yeah.
She wants to know, what does that mean? All right, that's good. If I'm just stretching right here in my shoulder only, I'm putting a huge amount of force in this joint only. I don't want that. What I'd like to do is I'd like to think, I'm going to stretch here, through here, through here, through here. So if I think of lifting my ribs a little, and then I think of shoulder lifting just a little, elbow lifting a little, fingers lifting a little, that is dispersing the stretch versus just focusing on my shoulder. So if I sit here and I say, I'm just going to stretch this finger and I'm not moving the rest of my body, then this finger is what's going to get all the force. But if I extend my arm out and I extend and I go, okay, I'm going to let the arm bend, I'm going to let all of that force go through my arm. I dispersed the stretch. Not what I see a lot of PTs do, I wish they did more of, because they get very focused on the joint that needs care. That's great. But they need to look at how that joint's connected and how to disperse the idea of, well, maybe I need to work on the elbow and the shoulder and the rib and the hip and how they connect. How they connect. How do they connect? That's what I do a lot of. And that's what I try to help you with.
Randy in Mesa asks, you might want to think about going to the wall. Do I push in with my hips towards the wall when I'm in that rainbow stretch?
Yeah, everybody's different. No. I would say no. I would say if I push my hips in, then I'm not really focused here. I stand at a comfortable distance so that you can kind of lean into it. So play like wall here. So if I can lean a little, I can rest my arms, I can stretch. But if I press my hips in, then I got a whole nother force that I don't want in there. I want a comfortable, the reason I always want you somewhat comfortable when you're leaning is because the more comfortable you are, the more relaxed you'll be. There's a balance between putting a stress into your body and relaxing at the same time. It's a little balancing act. So I'd say keep your hips comfortably away. Head can be on the wall or not. And then your focus is up in here. And then this is back wherever it's comfortable. It's not getting in my way, because if I press it, it's in my way. Okay? Hold, please. There we
The
go.
next question is, so if walking is more of a push by the back, that means I'm not pulling by my quads in the front.
Right.
That's from Fred in Minneapolis.
Yeah, Fred, you're right. So Fred, here's the way for you to test what I have to say so your body can understand it. If you don't have a big hill in your neighborhood, then just go get on a treadmill. Go, visit a health club and tell them you're visiting the health club to see if you want to have a membership. I don't care. Get that treadmill on a really high incline. Okay? Don't go fast. And I mean this. Go slow. Put it on a high incline. You can put your hands on the rails. I don't care. I don't mean like a death grip. I just mean rest your hands. And begin to walk up, literally walk up this treadmill hill or in your neighborhood. And notice, what do? You don't grab with your hip flexor and quad and pull. You push yourself up that hill. Hills on treadmills or hills in life are really good teachers of walking, because you have to push off from the back. Well, you don't have to, but if you push off from your back leg and then you set your front leg down, you'll understand from your body what I'm talking about. Your mind wants to get all the answers, but the body is the one that needs to feel it. So test that concept, hill or treadmill.
This is a little off the wall. I don't know if you can answer it if you want to. This is from Libby Hooker. Not sure where she's from. She says, I don't know how to get in and out of my bathtub with my right leg. I slipped and fell at softball practice. And I'm going to see my orthopedic doctor today. I'm 25 years old.
Okay, Libby, I have a YouTube video about getting in and out of the tub. And I just had a woman tell me that it really helped her. So I can't go to that. But here's two things. Go look for it on my YouTube video. And
what's your YouTube video channel?
Oh, McCall Method YouTube. And then go, if you don't find it, just email me on my website, mccallmethod.com, and I will find it for you and send it to you. Because that's not the subject now, but I did make a video, and I actually had someone tell me that it really, really helped them.
All right, this is from Lynn in Laramie, Wyoming. She says, do I need to stretch any part of my front muscles? It seems like we're focusing on the shoulders, the butt, the legs, and not the front muscles.
Well, when you stretch your arms on the wall, you're releasing tension here, okay? When you walk with your hands on your back, you're releasing tension here. When you stretch tall, you're releasing tension here. I'm sort of a person who wants to release tension where we're going to use those muscles and let the areas that we're used to holding, they will let go. But it's not a bad thought. I could throw this out there. I'll show y'all one. Can I show? I'm going to show you one. So let's say you know you're really tight in your hips here, which 99% of everyone in a Western culture is tight in the front. So maybe you want to make a little stretch in the front. Not a bad deal. I've got the front of your chest being stretched. I've done that. Let's do a little bit of releasing the hips. So I'm going to lie down on this chaise lounge, and I recommend you do this on your bed or your couch. I'm going to move Pebble's bottom a little. All right, now I don't fit totally on this, but I'm going to the edge. And I'm going to lie here. I know. And I'm going to get to the edge. This is a physical therapy stretch. And I'm going to dangle this leg off the bed or off the couch. But it's too short. But you may feel a stretch just like this. You can just lie there and you'll feel something in here. You could even just do it at the end of the couch or the chaise or the bed. You get the idea. I'm lying there and I am feeling the front of this stretch. Now, usually people have to get to the edge and drop the leg, and you can keep one leg up if you like, but just to let that go down like that. And if you're too close to the floor, just scoot your leg out a little bit, okay? But that's a good one. Yeah, I like it. Why not? That's not a bad idea. I didn't want to stack a whole lot of stretches at you. I wanted to give you things maybe you hadn't seen before, but I like it.
Last question. Barry in Flagstaff says, well, isn't swinging arms with exaggeration like stretching your arms before you walk?
I don't think so. And this is me, because I think when you're walking, it's a very complicated, in-depth skill. And the more you do it well, the more your arms are going to relax. I have never swung my arms a lot because it's not natural. It's natural to walk and let the arms just naturally swing. This is what I see a lot in our culture, Western cultures. we like to try to figure out what the best thing would be to get the most bang for our buck. And we figure it out here versus finding out if that's really how the body really wants it. I see it in physical therapy, I see it in fitness. If that's what you want to do and it works for you, you know I support that. But to me, letting your arms naturally swing, well, I've done this. I have someone I know who used to swing a lot. What I noticed was his torso and legs were not working efficiently. So I said, what if you just kept your arms by your side for a few steps? Then what happened when he wasn't swinging was that his torso and his legs began to really get involved and do what they're designed to do. So I can't give you like, I agree with that, because I'm sort of a believer that the human body does, when you give it the opportunity, it does exactly what it needs to do. And I don't need to I don't add weights to my hands. I don't add things because it already knows how to do the best. If I just, be real efficient, I should say, if I really become more efficient. It's like a tennis player works on their serve, works on their serve, okay? And they become better at their serve. Yeah, I know they do other stuff to make them strong, and some of that I question a little, but they're doing their serve and getting it right and moving on the court well and having the mobility and the skill and the strength. That is mainly what makes them great. And so that's kind of how I see it. It's a difficult conversation for some people. It's not real in vogue, what I think. All right, so happy walking. Please email me if you like, McCallmethod.com, and let me know if that worked for you or not. And any questions, I'll answer them. Happy week. What? Oh, yeah. You're supposed to like, share, and subscribe.